Well, good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee Sunday morning live streaming service. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or joining us online on Zoom, you're welcome here. We know that there are many paths to God, but they all end in oneness and in love. So whatever your path is on your spiritual journey, you are in the right place. We're grateful that each of you is here with us this day. And so we begin this morning with our receptivity statement that you'll see on the screen. If you would read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. So we remember that our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one that unites us all as one. All right. And so our musician today is Colleen Akiko. And we've all come to love her passionate voice and her original songs. But you may not know that Colleen is also a transformational life coach. She's our newsletter creator, a marketing specialist, and writer of our weekly parents column. So check that one out online. But she is an important part of CSL Tahoe-Truckee in many ways, not the least of which is the love and consciousness that she shares with us all, as you will hear today. So please help me welcome Colleen Akiko to lead us off with one of her original songs.
You know, this song, the ink is still fresh on this one. In meditation for a long time, just kept kind of hearing this phrase, I am that I am being here. And then a couple of weeks ago, it changed a little bit. And it became, I am that we are being here. And I thought that, you know, that was kind of maybe helping me feel more of the me that I continue to try to understand more, being united with the divine. And then I kind of realized that if that applies to me, that applies to all of us. And that whoever, thank you. Whoever we are together, that there is a special, really perfectly unique expression of the divine that we are together. And it feels good, feels really good to savor that our togetherness isn't just something that is getting into a nice community, a good community. We are a divine expression. So I celebrate that with you, my family. Awakened by a whisper, warm and deep. I am, that we are being here. Arising in the love that makes us free. Sacred mystery sings in harmony, one as all as one. Seeing you as me, feeling me as you, from one heart, we are one. that we are being here, opening the wonder that we are. I am that we are being here, together like one brilliant shining star. Sacred mystery sings in harmony, one as all as one. Seeing you as me, feeling me as you, from one heart we are one. Sacred mystery sings in harmony, one as all as one. Seeing you as me, feeling me as you, from one heart we are one. I am. We are being here from one heart. We are. I am that I am, that we are being here.
Colleen. Well, our practitioner this morning is Michael Brandman. And Michael has just returned from a week of skiing with some dear friends down in Mammoth. And so that experience, skiing on this nice, thick, deep snowpack for December 2022, is a joyful experience. It's truly a spiritual experience. And so he's ready with that high consciousness of joy for today. And so please help me welcome Michael for today's special reading and invocation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm also doing a little double duty with camera and Zoom. So this morning's reading comes from Ideas for Living by Ernest Holmes, as selected by Reverend Pam. And it's very complimentary, of course, to her talk this morning on Ode to Joy, and with the music and meditation we had earlier. So today, everyone has personality, be it good, bad, or indifferent. But back of this personality, there is a divine, God-ordained individual, a real person, a spiritual ego. Too often, our objective and even our mental and emotional personalities tend to mask or cover rather than reveal that unique something which the mind of God has implanted within each one of us. To find our true center is one of the great quests of life. To discover God within is the greatest thing that could happen to anyone. The miracle which follows such discovery changes the whole personality. A new power surges into it through the revelation of the divine presence at the center of its own being. We do not need to imitate others or to shape our lives according to their thoughts. All we have to do is learn to be ourselves. For there is at the center of everyone's life, behind the mask he wears, and eternal Son of the living God. It is this Son that we wish to reveal. Jesus said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." This is the law of life. We should give of ourselves in love and service to others, in a spirit of generosity and good fellowship. To refuse to give is to refuse to receive, for everything moves in circles. Real giving is the givingness of the self. A kind word, a thoughtful act, perhaps just a smile, can help lighten the burdens of others. We are all part of each other because of the same God is in each one of us, wearing a different face. God is the Father of all, in all, and through all, and we are the brothers of all. No man can live unto himself alone. We can only live unto God and unto each other. On this pathway alone is freedom, joy, and completion. As surely as the eternal circuits of God follow their courses, so shall those who give all receive all. And this morning, with those words, knowing the brotherhood and sisterhood of all with God, knowing that all is well in this beautiful season of giving and receiving, I know that this morning's message will penetrate each one of us in our own, each individual way. Again, knowing our oneness. We are the center of perfection, the center of good. And I bless each and every one of us. I bless this service. I bless Reverend Pam, musician, and all that are here this morning in service. This morning is beautiful. The expression of joy, expression of the one God in all, through all, in each one of us. I know this to be true, and I release this unto the law, knowing that all is well in each and every one of us individually in our individual perfection. And we say together, and so it is. Oh, and now I welcome Colleen. Back to the camera.
I think you all know this song.
I think we have some words. So give you a little hint. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. Melt the clouds of fear and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the joy of day. All thy works of joy surround the earth, reflect thy rays. Stars and angels sing around thee, center of unbroken praise. Field and forest, vale and mountain, flowering meadow, flashing sea. Teach us how to love each other, lift us to thee. Sorry about that. Thou art giving and forgiving, ever
blessing ever blessed, wellspring of the joy of living, ocean depth of happy rest. Thou the Father, Christ our brother, all who live in love are thine. Teach us how to love each other, lift us to the joy divine.
So this morning, we have a guest. I'm speaking about living everyday wonder in community, using the example of ode to joy. And it's the holiday season. We have the centers all decorated beautifully with the poinsettias and piano and all the greenery, and the tree is here. Packages under the tree, leaves everywhere. So we take the time just, ground feeling of joy that just arises. And we sang the joyful, joyful, we adore thee, which actually comes from Ludwig von Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy. And it's a magnificent experience that whenever you hear it in the symphony hall, it just brings everyone to their feet. You know, that's that song and singing it in a big church. And it's Beethoven's Ninth was based on the poem Ode to Joy that was written by Friedrich Schiller in 1785. So the poem came first and then the symphony, right? And so when it's sung in Germany, but it's been translated, and so Henry van Dyke rewrote the words in 1907, and so those are the words that we sang this morning, right, in English. And so when he wrote those words, he had that feeling of joy. He was the guest speaker at Williams College, and the Berkshire Mountains are nearby. And so when he was out in nature, he had this epiphany feeling of this joy. And so in his version, there's all these references to nature and the joy that you just can't keep in. And it's just a wonderful, amazing experience. And it's one of oneness, really. There's a lot of musicologists that call the Ninth Symphony one of the supreme achievements in the history of music. You know, Southern KUSC, Southern California classical station, they voted on their favorite 250 songs. And the one that came out number one this year was the Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy, right? And it was when the nearly deaf Beethoven wrote this symphony, and he added the four solo voices in the choir. This was the first time that a major composer had added a choir to a symphony. You know, not singing a hymn, but a symphony, integrating it all together. And when it premiered in Vienna in 1824, the orchestra's front of the orchestra, now there was a maestro named Michael Umlauf, who is the theater's Kapellmeister, they called it. But beside him was Beethoven conducting the symphony. Now, at the time, Beethoven was completely deaf. And so he was going along and he, enjoyed it. He can hear it in his mind, but not the actual choir and symphony. And so when the symphony came to a close, he was still moving and gesturing. And so one of the violinists in the review, he said, Beethoven himself conducted. That is, he stood in front of the conductor scene and threw himself back and forth like a madman. At one point, he reached to his full height, and then the next moment, he was crouching down at the floor, and he was flailing about with his hands and feet as though he wanted to play all the instruments and sing every part of the music, right? So when the chorus was over and he was still conducting, the soloist contralto, a young woman of 20, came over to the maestro, to Beethoven, and gently turned him around so he could see the enthusiastic audience that was applauding and throwing handkerchiefs in the air. And so he got to experience the joy that he had brought to the audience through this music. Now, the lyrics that are indelibly imprinted in my memory are those words from the poem that Van Dyck wrote in 1907. And that's the version that most people sing today, or maybe a little extra tweaks in this hymnal or that. But all of it, there's something that goes beyond that masterful musical score and the resounding lyrics. There's an element of community, right? And the majesty of Ode to Joy arises also from the collective performances of the many musicians, right? Each a master of their unique instrument, whether it's a woodwind or the strings, the brass, percussion instruments, or their own voice, whatever it is. Each one, the conductors weaves all of these masterful performances together into a single majestic performance with all of its high energy and many harmonies, layers of sound. It all comes together so perfectly, right? And what elevates a performance of Ode to Joy from the mundane to magnificent is that each musician is bringing forth something from deep within their being. It is from their soul, from that God within them. If you've ever sung or performed, you felt that moment when you're just there in the flow. And when you have the whole stage full of people that are together experience this peak moment together, it's amazing, right? And so they're performing something written by a preeminent composer, accomplished poet. And so they've each practiced, master of the instrument. And they're in the symphony hall. It's a building that's been designed with perfect acoustics to just really bring it to every person in the audience. There's sound systems and lighting that make it even more wonderful experience. There's artistic beauty. There's comfortable seats, hopefully, and even the building architect, the construction contractor, the ushers, the concessionaires that are there, the ticket sellers, everybody that was involved in creating that experience. Each one is part of that community that's creating it together, right? And the conductor blends it all together, understanding the value and each person has contributed to that moment, right? So this coming together in harmony and joy represents community at its highest and belonging as well. It is truly an ode to joy, right? So I'd like to share with you a short clip of a performance of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony by the Pacific Symphony in Southern California from June 2nd, 2012. And Michael and I were here at the Sigerstam Concert Hall. And we were inside in one of those red chairs you'll see in the background, but there was an audience assembled outside that was watching it for free, that was projected on the wall. And Carl St. Clair is the conductor. Now, he wasn't as enthusiastic as Beethoven, but he comes pretty close, right? And there were 5 standing ovations that day. I mean, one reviewer complained that her hands were so sore at the end of clapping that she could hardly stand it, but it was that kind of experience. So here we go, the Ninth Symphony with Pacific Symphony. It's a great symphony. So we were grateful to be there as a part of this community experience. And, there was a reason there were 5 standing ovations. It was just magnificent. The Pacific Chorale is amazing as well. And over the years, we followed Carl St. Clair and all the individual musicians. We followed the violinist, the oboist, the trumpet, the cello. He passed away from cancer. The timpani, whatever they played. And so it was great to be part of that community, right? But still when we see something like this, if somebody doesn't understand that connection with spirit within, there's an illusion that it's just the skills and alone that create that experience. But it's when we turn to that presence of God within us, right, that we find that master conductor that's ready to guide us on our unique path and provide the opportunities to discover and explore our path, to discover our God-given talents and to practice and to contribute a master performance in the world, to guide us when we feel lost, to show us who we are, to guide us to the answers. Because each one of us, if we're in this master symphony, this master community, then there are people there to receive what we have to give and for us to receive what they have to give. It is a circle. It's a circle of life that we talk about it. And so it's when we know that we're in that circle of life, we also discover that when all our practicing is complete and we set aside our fear and the anxiety that are brought on by ego, that maybe we're not good enough or not going to come through for me this time, that's when we co-create with God. The source of all that is the majestic and master performance that we seek to contribute. Right? You know, a skilled musician can deliver a good performance, but a musician who allows God to express through them or her delivers that masterful performance together with the rest of the orchestra that pours forth love and beauty, touches hearts and transforms our collective experience to heaven on earth, really. This is when it comes. And this is what I want for me and for you and for our spiritual community, for all of the earth, for all people on our planet. You know, each person is a part of that tapestry of life. Each and every person is an important part of our spiritual community and in the whole fabric of society. Elizabeth Lesser, in her book Marrow, she says, "The air you breathe is the air that I breathe." We pass molecules back and forth, in and out, around the world. We feel what each other feels. We face the same hurdles and confusions. We strive for understanding and love. We share the same planet. We share and need each other. We are each other because we're all a part of the one. We are strands in a tapestry that we cannot see because we are a part of it. It's like the fish swimming in the ocean that can't see the ocean because they're in it. We're a part of the tapestry. You know, in this morning's reading, Ernest Holmes said that to find our true center, the God within us, is the greatest thing that could happen to anyone, right? We don't need to imitate anyone. We need to learn to be ourselves. Then we are empowered by the divine presence at the center of our own being. That is our true self, our higher self with a capital S. And yet, you know, it's not just about our individual experience, as great as that can be, but it's about having that synergy with the rest of the community, that we are part of the tapestry. You know, the gold thread that runs through is just as beautiful, but it needs the red that runs through this way, and the green and the yellow and the blue. It's all comes together, right? And so in community, we engage with the people around us. And when we do, it expands our world, right? It's not a solo journey life, right? Now, there's a story told by Heino Moles. He's the Canadian magazine publisher of real estate marketing. He started a real estate TV program up there too. He died in 1969. But during the 1950s, when he was a kid, his dad worked in a furniture shop. Actually, he died recently when he was 69. Sorry, he died just 2 years ago. A little better. Okay, but anyway, so he told a story about when he was a kid. His dad worked in a furniture shop, and it was at the corner of Spadina and Queen in downtown Toronto. So sometimes he would go to the shop with his dad, and when he wanted to make a little pocket change, he'd go get some coffee for everybody and keep the change, right? But most of the time he just hung out and didn't really pay attention to what was going on and the hustle and bustle of people, and he was just there. He was a kid. But one day, as he and his dad were driving to the shop, he looked out the passenger window and he saw this old man standing on a street corner right there by the store. And for some reason, their eyes met and they held for about 20 seconds as they went by. And there was nothing fearful about the man, but it was just a significant experience for Moles as a young man. And up until that point of life, he had just never given any thought to anyone. And he saw on the street, the stores, or anywhere, just life was so simple. But here he had this engagement. You know, it's like when you have that engagement with an animal in the wild and your eyes lock and you realize that we're both alive. We're part of the one spirit, right? And so up until then, his life had been his family and his friends and on the block, and that was it. He had no interest in anyone beyond that circle, but he was intrigued by this man. For the first time, he had empathy and an interest in what that person was all about. What kind of life had he lived? Where had he been in his time? And how did he come to be at the corner at just that moment that their eyes connected, right? Now, over the years, Mole had forgotten about the man, but it came to mind for him. And he remembered those 20 seconds when he looked into the eyes of the stranger and wondered what that man was all about. You know, it seems that we're so busy these days, and there's so many details, so many calls to make, so many things to do, look after. We barely have time for sincere and genuine interaction with other people. And so we're inundated by warnings from great thinkers in our society that we have to stop and smell the roses, right? And remember these people, connections. And this is what makes life wonderful, have meaning. But, you know, Mole said that he was afraid that it took him decades to really appreciate the wisdoms of those words, of taking time to smell the roses. You know, he wanted to tell people, especially young people, that if you are thoughtless and indifferent to others on your life journey, then you are missing life itself. Do not be intrusive or tactless, he suggests, but take a moment and ask somebody, how did you come here? Or how did you get into this business? No matter what that person tells you, the answer will enrich you. You will grow emotionally. You can excel as a person, and you can be wealthy by any measure if you just appreciate the gifts that people in life are all around you, ready to give, right? Right at this moment, just by their simple presence, right? By simply being part of that tapestry, right? So we should know that the great works of art are measured by the emotions they evoke, not because they look great on the wall next to the plant, right? No, we should never forget that heartache cannot be cured, but it can be eased by someone willing to give us genuine sympathy and be present with us. The true greatness of joy can only be known when it's shared with others. Right? So, towards the end of his life, Moles attended a trade show at a convention center in downtown Toronto, and during the lunch break, he went to a book sale along that trendy Queen West area. And he was thinking about, well, should I return to the show or should I keep walking, wondering, when he realized that he was standing at the corner of Spadina and Queen, where his dad's furniture shop had been. And as he was there, a car drove by and a young boy looked out the window. For about 20 seconds, their eyes connected. And he realized he was now an old man. He had traded places with that boy that was in the car. He was wondering if that boy was thinking about who he was, if there was a connection, right? So this is, it can be just for a moment, or it can be for a lifetime of being together with someone, but it's those relationships that bring meaning to life, right? And that allow us to share that joy. And so we want to be in service to some of the greater ideas of connection. And when we're in community, it's that interplay between individuals. It's that circle of the whole experience of life. You know, in Science of Mind, we seek to recognize wholeness at all things, right? And the reading was something about that this morning. And We observe situations that don't appear whole on the surface. I know I've got some of those in my life. But when we encounter those experiences that relationships that seem to have issues, the aim is not to deny what is before us. Compassion wouldn't allow us to do that, but to seek to understand that a greater idea, that the divine intention can be revealed, and to be there as the presence of love, right? As the presence of spirit in that moment, calling forth the truth, being that lighthouse that allows the other person to look up for a moment and have that connection and bring them out of whatever they're going through, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, a light from that lighthouse, right? And so all of these that divine intention can be revealed. These illusions of separation, conflict, disagreements, they can be pretty hefty sometimes, but they also direct us to areas that need attention, exploration, and illumination. Perhaps we have something that we're bringing to the situation that we have control over, right? We can't fix other people, but we can work on ourselves, right? And in community, we have the support to look beneath the surface and discover new possibilities. We have people around us that support us to know that we are better than our worst days because we are divine, right? In community, we can collectively spiral upwards to a new future, to a greater, more perfect expression of the divine that we are. Jim Lockhart, in his book, Creating the Beloved Community, he says, safe space and spiritual community is not about eliminating discomfort. It is providing a supportive place where we can experience the inevitable discomfort of deep personal introspection and spiritual growth with support and understanding, right? So it's not about being stagnant. It's not about being a perfect person and coming to be with other perfect people. No, it's about being people that we are perfectly imperfect. We are learning to express that divine wholeness. We support each other and ourselves by elevating our thoughts above the individual self, above our egos, and into that we space of oneness, right? Ernest Holmes, in the reading from this morning, he said, we are all parts of each other because the same God that's in each of us wearing a different face, right? No man or woman can live by themselves alone, right? We're part of a greater society. And so it's like when we're in a relationship with someone, one of the challenges of being in a long-term relationship is that two things happen. One, hopefully the other person is not a clone of us, because there would never be any conflict. So conflict is a way of helping us evolve. So we have to bless the conflict and give gratitude for us and let it wear away our rough edges. But it also allows us to have that intention of being with someone and seeing their gifts, right? Their part of God is just as important and wonderful as ours. And so when we find that harmony, how we come together in a complementary way, it allows us to understand what's important and what's not, right? It allows us to understand, just like when you talk about here's my space and here's my husband's space, and there's this nexus in between where we overlap. And that's where we celebrate life together. And there's some things that we do on our own, but there's so many things that we share in the middle. And that's what holds us together. Now it evolves a little bit over time, if you're together for a long time, because we're not the same two people that first came together. But it's that connection. It's that spirit of having that oneness, knowing that's where we came from. It's like all the colors of the rainbow. They're all part of the rainbow. We don't want to blend it together and just see white light, but breaking it out like a prism does, we see all the beauty of that diversity. And so inclusion is really important. And that's important in a spiritual center as well. It's something that's a part of the CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living Global Vision. One of the parts of the vision, it says, we demonstrate the oneness of spirit in everything we do knowing that this oneness is inclusive of race, age, ethnicity, culture, history, religion, political affiliation, experience, gender, and sexual orientation. We want our center to be inclusive and welcoming for all people, to affirm that whoever they are on their spiritual journey, they are welcome here. They are part of our journey as well. Now, another way that we express oneness and unity with all people is through service. We are God's hands and feet and voice, the heart to love, the eyes to see what's happening with our fellow human being, and to lift each other up. There was a Bengali poet, writer, and playwright named Rabindranath Tagore. He lived from 1861 to 1941. He was born in Calcutta in the Bengal district. He was the youngest of 13 surviving children. He was a practicing Sikh and close friend of Gandhi. Now, a man of many talents, he wrote novels, poetry, plays, and 2,000 songs, imagine. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913, right? The first non-European to win that prize. But this is a quote from him. I slept and I dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Pretty profound, right? So service is joy, right? And so here in the our spiritual center, Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee, what is your role here? You know, are you the musician, the AV team, practitioner, board member? Maybe someone will be called to be the youth and the teen leader, right? Or we have social hospitality. They have always good things to eat on Sunday mornings and our potlucks, right? A social committee. And maybe we need to call for someone to lead our building and grounds, right? All the repairs and upgrades. So take a bird's eye view of the center. It's not just about your one-on-one relationship with the center, but are you part of that bigger picture that's at play, part of the fabric of this community? You know, how can you contribute your gifts and service, or introduce something new, bring a new idea? You know, we're all looking for, you know, how do we do spiritual community today in a way that's relevant to all the generations? How are we sustainable going forward? It's not going to look like it used to anymore. I mean, we're grateful that we're here hybrid online, but there's something more that's coming through, right? And so we want to be willing to listen. Now we're coming up to the winter solstice, December 20th. And so it is that time when, you know, the nights are getting longer and longer, and there is this quietness. Everything seems to come to a halt, and there is stillness, right? And in that darkness, in the cold of the winter, it's a time to release the old and make room for the new. And so our center is evolving. You know, we're going to have a congregational visioning after the service on January 15th. So save that date if you'd like to be a part of it, because we're going to take the time to be still and just listen to that voice of spirit, not just in our own hearts, but to share it together. When you come, you know, whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I also. And that's what happens when we vision together. We're listening. We're willing to say we let go of the past, and we're looking to be that new expression for the new year, for this moment in time. What is there? What do we need to release? What do we need to become? And how can we invite others in and be out in the world? How can we have more fun together? Who are we called to be as the beloved community? So we create our own symphony together. We create our own ode to joy together. Let's take this to prayer. And so as we breathe, that life force, that breath of life breathing in and out. And we go within to that stillness. And we discover the joy of being alive. Just like Van Dyke's experience in the Berkshire Mountains in the poem. It's why we love Tahoe. It's why there's the majesty of the season. And each morning when I get to look at the lake and whatever it looks like today, it's always changing, but it's always a picture postcard. Not just visually, but something in my heart responds with this joy of being alive and being in this moment, being with nature, being in the presence and power of spirit. And life is so good in that moment. And so as we let go and let God be that truth, as we let all the fears and worries and all the rushing around of the season, whatever challenge we're dealing with, in this moment, there is just God, the one life that is our life within our breast, holding us, loving us, filling every nook and cranny that is calling for love and hope and joy with that love and joy and peace, so that we are full to overflowing. Our hearts are broken open with joy. We can't contain it. We are here together in our spiritual beloved community. We know that we are one with God. We know that all good things are given to us, and we joyfully and freely receive, and we joyfully and freely give and share with others in that circle of life. It is so good to be alive. It is so good to be a part of that symphony of humanity, of life expressed in all of its wholeness and wonder on this planet and in this moment. And so we find ourselves in the perfect place at the perfect time, singing in harmony, acting in harmony. As we speak a word, the next one comes from the next person in perfect timing. There is a rhythm to life. And as we stay centered in spirit, there is this assurance that all is well. Assurance that God is everywhere present. Assurance that God is in and through and as all of life. And it is good. Everything is provided. And even more. Life is good. In our community, as an individual, and as a part of the one. We have the discipline to practice and to master our own instrument. And we rejoice in the mastery and the performance of each one next to us. And that wonderful synergy of knowing that we are raising each other up to higher heights to express that infinite love and wisdom that is the infinite invisible and its intention of creating this world in the first place. We are each created with love and care and wisdom. Our gifts are our unique gifts. And so we are grateful. We share them with the world, and we share them with our community, our beloved community, where we are safe, we are accepted, and we accept all people as part of the one. And so in this time of peace and joy and love, we allow it to be. We sing it from the mountaintops. All is good, all is God. As the Christ consciousness is reborn anew, we release these words knowing that it is done. We do not need to worry or fret, only trust and know that all is well. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, And together we say, and so it is. So I'd like to welcome Colleen for one more song about that Christ consciousness. Whisper.
This song has some whispering in it. So just want to make sure. This season is full of mystery, isn't it? You know, we celebrate the incarnation. And this song speaks of our connection with, as Reverend Pam was talking about, our being the I am and the I am being each of us. So I invite you to enter into this mystery, and may it really pervade all of our celebrations in this season. The scripture that came to mind as this song was coming forth is the one in 1 John, talking about Christ, about Jesus, saying, as he is, so are we in this world, in this time, individually and together as this community. And we so deeply, deeply celebrate that. Beneath the steamy breath of beasts, a swaddled infant softly breathes. He whom kings and shepherds seek, ancient newborn mystery. This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery. Breathing. Angels sing and fill the sky, radiant beams dance through the night, heralding pure joyful light, born of earth and born divine. Gloria, behold Emmanuel, behold Emmanuel. Alleluia, This is Christ in me, my glory born of divinity. Praise, praise to the great I am, that I am, ancient mystery. Breathe.
It's a wonderful blending of the old and the new traditions of Christmas and the birth of the Christ consciousness in each one of us. You know? Well, we're coming to our prosperity time for our center, and I think Brenda is going to join us for a presentation about our end of year giving program.
Good morning. Reverend Pam, I believe there's a slide that we wanted to share.
Right.
So we're in the season of giving and also the season of receiving. And so I just wanted to remind everyone to bring into your consciousness the gift that each one of us has received of this community. So we are inviting everyone to participate in this miracle that's happened for our community, and in the angel that's come forth to match the end of the year giving that each one of us is invited to participate in. So the end of the year donations are being matched. So every dollar that you donate becomes $2, 50 becomes 100, 500 becomes 1,000, etc. So with deep gratitude, I just give thanks for this angel that's come forth to bless and support our community. And the more important part of this whole process is that each one of us is invited to participate in this. So it doesn't happen without our participation. So please keep this in mind when you're planning your end of the year giving, your gifts. Keep your community in mind. We are grateful for all of the support of all of our members and friends throughout the year. And it's this opportunity at the end of the year which really gives us the energy going forth into the new year to plan and prepare our programs and all of the things that come up in our visioning that we would like to bring forth in 2023. So thank you so much, everyone. Blessings be.
Thank you, Colleen. And so we have now is our time for our prosperity time. And if you would take your donation to a center, whether it's your regular pledge donation or an end of the year donation, and hold it over your heart. This is ways that you can make if you're online and you want to send in a check or use, through your bill pay with your bank, or you can go on our website, make a donation. But if you're wherever you are, take your offering or the thought of it, hold it over your heart, and please read the prosperity affirmation with me. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. As a committed giver, I give freely of my whole self. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
And so we give gratitude for these gifts and offerings that have been so generously given, knowing that they come from Spirit to serve Spirit in our center and throughout the world. It is the circle of life, the circle of abundance and love that is everywhere present. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. All right, so I'd like to welcome our guests that are here with us today. And or if you're online, or if you're watching us after the fact, thank you for being here as being a part of us. You can sign up for our newsletter on our website or fill out a welcome card. And I also have some thank yous this morning. Our Zoom hosting is Diana Misets and assisted by Michael Brandman. Michael was our practitioner this morning. Musician was Colleen Akiko. Thank you. The Giving Tree arrangements are being handled by Shirley Nelson, Penny Scholler, and Charlotte Perkins in the office. And we have a few gifts, right, that are left to. So if you haven't made a donation to the family, we have you can pick something off the tree or call in and find out what it is. We have one big gift that they're asking. So if you want to make a $1 donation, we'll need several of us to go in to get that one item that Grandma has requested. And then I also want to thank for the tree decorations. We had Penny, Nancy, Patricia. I was thinking, was anyone else join? Oh, Mari came. Good. All right. So there's that special TLC that's here with our tree and our decorations. And hospitality today was Nancy O'Neill. There's definitely some goodies out there to share. So right after the service today, if you're online for Zoom, please stay online so you can have fellowship with the other people that are there online. Now tonight is the annual Christmas party starting at 5 p.m. at Donna Axton's house. So if you need directions, make sure you get those before you leave. Or also, Diana's going to type in the chat Donna's address, so you'll know where to go if you're coming up just for the evening. And next Friday night, December 23rd at 5:30 p.m., change in time, 5:30, is our Christmas candlelight lighting service. The practitioners and I will share one of Ernest Holmes's metaphysical interpretation of the Christmas story. Donna Axton and our Live Wire choir will be leading us in singing lots of Christmas carols, so that's always something people look forward to. And we're going to conclude, of course, with the inspiring candle lighting ceremony. Right. And we have lots of holiday-related events, so if you have any questions about what's happening this month, please check the website and our weekly online newsletter that you can join. And there on the website and also on our YouTube channel, you can find video recordings of the Sunday service that is there. There was kind of a glitch on the website that was going on, but that's been fixed. There was a software update, so Autumn has fixed that, so now it works. So please do that. So let's see, we've talked about the adoptive family, and so this is a way to spread cheer. Oh, thank you. The gifts need to be backed by Tuesday. They should be wrapped. And then Shirley's going to be taking them over to Tahoe Family Solutions, and they will deliver them to the family in time for Christmas. This week on Tuesday is the monthly women's circle that Jackie is leading from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Wellness Center. There's no service next Sunday, the 25th, or on New Year's Day, which is the 1st. But we will be having the World Healing Meditation on December 31st at 4 a.m. So you have to go home, take a nap before you go to your evening celebration. But 4 a.m., which is noon Greenwich time, but join with millions of people around the world in praying for world peace and healing. And if you venture out into the cold, we'll be having a potluck breakfast and time to share. And it's a wonderful time to share together in that spiritual community. Right? I mentioned the visioning for 2023 will be happening on January 15th. So please join us after service for that date. And we also, of course, have our ongoing classes and Zoom links that are here and on the newsletter on the website. And remember that Course of Love is taking a break for December, but Tai Chi and the Thursday meditation are still going on. All right. And we want to welcome our children wherever they are. If you would say our Affirmation with me. We see you. We hear you. We love you. You are a gift from God. And so it is. Okay. And there's lots going on to support you. And one of the ways we support you is with prayer. And so our practitioner, if you want prayer after service, please see one of our practitioners. The practitioner of the day was Michael Brandman. Nancy O'Neill is here, of course. And I'm also a practitioner. And online we have Brenda and Carol. So just Brenda. Okay. And so, so put a note in the chat if you'd like prayer, and we'll connect you guys. All right. Now we're going to have our closing song. We have the peace song, which is wonderful this time, and our favorite peace song singer, Cris leading us. They'll be followed by the affirmation. Stand.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right. If you would read along with me, I am one with the circle of life, and so it is. Oh yeah. Well, one of Chris's jobs is he leads the Long Beach. I don't know. It's like an LBGTQ choir, and so he's and he's got like 2 master's degrees in music performance and management and all this kind of stuff, and so he's a classical singer as well. He's got a male contralto. He has a male contralto voice, and it's a very, very rare thing. Like that new what do you call it, opera that's about the it's like a take. What was that one on? Anyway, it's like the a woman, a man that's a trans woman, and singing in the anyway. So it's like in Chinese or something or other. It's like, what was that one where they flower drum song. Okay.
So this is the takeoff on that?
Yeah, but that's not the right one. It's the geisha girl. What's the other? Michael would know this name. Huh? Madam Butterfly. No, that's not it. There's another one.
Okay. Well, what does that have to do with Cris?
So anyway, so he has the kind of voice that there's this, so that, I heard something on NPR, they were saying that this wonderful singer and it's so great and whatever. And it was just like, well, Cris can sing that,
Yeah, aren't there like 12 or something in the whole world?
It's something crazy like that. Yeah. It's really crazy, amazing. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Greetings.
Wondering where you were.
How are you guys?
Good, good. We're hoping today, but we're seeing you. So, I hope-
Right?
yeah.
We slept in this morning.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Up at 5:10 to make it here.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, you drove over that Simi summit, 4 degrees. Yeah.
Geez.
Oh, yikes. There was a bad accident there yesterday.
That's what he heard. Yeah, I think I saw where that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you're safe.
Yes, thank you. We were kind of slip sliding our way here.
Jeez.
Slip sliding with people tailgating, that's always a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to go any faster.
Nice hat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had this for so long. I had to dust it off. I'm like, oh, I guess I should wear this.
As cold as it is, it's probably feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and when I'm outside, I have to put on a headband to cover my ears, because it's pretty crazy cold. But
Yeah.
hey.
Well, it's good to see you. The music was fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it felt a little off today, but yeah, look who's here.
Oh, hey.
Speaking up behind the brim. Yeah. So hopefully we get to see you guys soon.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, hopefully.
The 23rd will be up.
Oh, okay, 23rd. I don't know if we'll make it, but we'll see you on the Zoom. Just like seeing you now.
Right. Right. You make it when you can make it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess this is delicious, by the way. Is it? Oh, it just really, really good. I just bottled it yesterday. Oh, yeah. Kombucha. Yeah. We're drinking. Can you believe it? We'll drink your share.
Very good.
Oh boy. I can't wait.
Well, I should let somebody else have the talking seat. Yeah, I'm glad I know you're here.
Good talking to you.
Big hugs.
Hello.
Yay. Hello, Linda and Brian. How are you?
It's looking a little green today around the edges. I love that color though. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sure good to see you too.
Good to see
Good to
you
see you
also.
too.
Yeah. Nice. Have a little kombucha together.
Thank you. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Nice to hear. Here's a sip for you.
Cheers.
How's mom?
No, we went through.
You Mom? Oh, there we go.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Mom's doing okay. She's moving along. We had a progressive dinner in the neighborhood last night, and she went to one of the other homes for appetizers. Little adventure.
New Year's party like that where we would go from one house to the next to the next to the next, like for about 4 or 5 houses.
Oh, fun.
And start early and the evening would progress.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a great way to enjoy the neighborhood and the friends. And,
Yep. It is. Yeah.
one house to the
We were up way too late.
Wow, background noise here is over my head.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard. Everybody's right behind you.
I'm noticing. What's up? Lila says hi. She just walked by.
Oh, hi, Lila.
Lila.
Mm.
Since I asked her to, she went the other way.
Oh, well.
She's very contrary.
Well, I guess we will see you next week
Next week. All right.
on the
Are you coming for the service? A little bit longer than that.
for the candle lighting service. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we will see you then.
All right. Au revoir.
See you.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adios.
What's up? Yeah. Oh, really? What would you wear? It's true.
I mean, they do have these weird, I don't know what you would call it. Just a sense how far you are from whatever sensor it is.